name is Steve Beck, and the Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So, Happy New Year, everybody. It's my second video of the decade. We're in the roaring 20s. So, it's a new year, but the Rise of Skywalker still sucked. Although it's so annoying. You know, like, I have all my normie friends coming up to me and saying, Rise of Skywalker, wasn't bad, wasn't bad. Yes, it was bad! Oh, God, it's so annoying when they make things that are passable to people who don't know what they're looking at's eyes. You know, it's like, like I wouldn't recognize a good or bad game of football. To me, they're all, but American or English. To me, they're all as dull as ditch water. So if everybody says that's a good game or a bad game, I can't tell the difference. It's kind of the same thing. They can't tell the difference. You know, just like whizzy stuff happens. So, but I was kind of bored and irritated while watching it. So I set myself a mental exercise because I went in watching it thinking, there's really no way anybody could write JJ Abrams out the hole that Rian Johnson put him in. There's no way this movie can save Star Wars and give JJ Abrams everything he wants and give the fans everything they want. So, and so I set that for myself as a mental exercise. What would I do to repair The Last Jedi and repair the damage from the Last Jedi, and still deliver everything that seemingly J.J. Abrams wants to do? So this is what I came up with. I spoke about this in like little bits over our video. This is the full movie. So I don't know. To me, I think it would have been better. You tell me what you think. So starts off. We have the opening crawl. The opening crawl for Rise of Skywalker was freaking horrible. It just seemed dumb. So let's have an opening crawl and say there's been a civil war in the First Order between Snoke's forces and Kylo Ren's forces. So you open up on you pan down off the opening crawl to a big space battle, which is like very cinematic one. And then the battle continues and it goes to a land battle. And when you have Kylo Ren's forces attacking the last stronghold of Snoke's forces, which is Snoke's castle. I like that the bad guys have castles. I like that Darth Vader had a castle. I think that just kind of worked. The Marvel, the second Darth Vader comic by Marvel spoke about that a little bit. It wasn't as good as the first Darth Vader comic. The second one was by Charles Soule. Anyway, so you have this scene where they land and Kylo Ren's there. He's out with his cool red lightsaber, slashing through troopers. And you can bring in those stupid Sith troopers because then you have a point to have them there. So slashing through people, and he finally breaks down the gate and gets into the castle. When he gets into the castle, when he's defeated their forces. He goes into the inner chamber, the throne room. And he's bathed in blue light. And you hear the Emperor's voice cackling evilly. And I'm putting this in because JJ really wanted to put the Emperor Palpatine in. However, it was a really dumb idea to put the Emperor in. So this is my solution. He's bathed in blue light. He turns around. And there is a droid there with a holographic face of Palpatine. This was Palpatine's chief servitor, who had his entire life knowledge downloaded into him. And he's been the power behind Snoke. Snoke was also I'm not sure what to call Snoke. I had a few different ideas. Snoke could have been either this droid attempting to resurrect Palpatine. It's a clone that didn't work, and so, or it could be another of Palpatine's servants, loyal servants who took control of the Empire. But either way. That way you have the Emperor without it being the Emperor and without it invalidating the entire original trilogy. But you still get to have the Emperor. And you give Snoke a little bit of background. And I thought the scene, when he's bathed in blue light, you hear the Emperor laugh, you think it's the Emperor, you turn around, and it's not him, it's like this droid. So you go, oh, that's interesting. But it wouldn't be cool if they also had relics there in Snoke's throne room. Which had so you could have like stuff from the other two trilogies. You could have what's it called again? General Grievous's exoskeleton hanging up. You can have all kinds of stuff like that. But there's one central thing there that will become important. Like, let's call it a pyramid that will become important later. So anyway, that's how the movie opens. Cut to Rey, Finn, and Poe are on a mission, and BB-8 are on a mission together. They're infiltrating they're infiltrating some underworld place. And if you really want to have like member bearers, make it be a hut. Yeah, I would. Who would want to see a hut? So they're stealing something from a hut, and they're going to let out a bunch of slaves, prisoners, and you have this big set piece where they pull off this. They get this thing they're looking for, and they get out. Maybe put in some sail barges as well. I don't know. Maybe that's too much. I think that's too much. Member bearers, but they get out. They escape on the Falcon, piloted by Chewbacca, and C3 would not be there. Neither would R2D2. They fly back, and they go back to the reborn rebellion's base, where the rebellion or the resistance, the dimwits are calling it, are retooling and restocking and resupplying. So you see a rebuilding going on of the resistance after their disastrous military leaders destroyed the resistance completely in Last Skywalker. So we get back there, and Princess Leia is there, and we can like shoehorn her in with the footage we have. And Princess Leia is overseeing Rey's training. Oh yeah, I was going to say during the scene with Rey, Poe, and Finn, have Rey show limited Force abilities, but uncontrolled Force abilities. Like, so she's got a feeling of the Force, but doesn't really know what to do with it or how to use it. But she's clearly advanced from the last movie. So you get back to the railways, and the thing they stole was a Jedi holocron, and she's been learning. She's been learning under Leia how to training to be a Jedi under Leia using these holocrons. So you can't have Leia be the person training her, because there's an idea in Judaism called hazaka, which is things don't change unless you know they change. So where we left it, that Leia was the twin of Luke, has the ability to become a Jedi. Well, nobody knew if that's what she was going to do. And then when we saw her again in Force Awakens, there was no mention of it. If she had become a Jedi Master, a Jedi Knight, done Jedi training, they needed to have mentioned it then. But if they don't mention it now, to 2 movies later, it's bullcrap they're showing in. She was never a Jedi Master. And I like the idea of her not being a Jedi Master, because she had a vision of her son going bad because of it. So you could work that in somehow. Anyway, so she's training with these Jedi holograms. What was it? Holocrons. And also, you can get more member bearers in there. You can bring in Mace Windu. You can bring in Obi-Wan Kenobi as like hologrammatic versions of them training her. Cut back to Snoke's castle, and in the droid, the Emperor droid, he's saying, "Good, good. This has all been my plan to bring you to me," as the Emperor does. Basically, I think he will say that about everything all the time. Good. He needs a he's manipulated or he's guided Kylo throughout via Snoke, so get him to build him up in Force power, so he can open up this pyramid thing that I mentioned earlier. It was in the throne room. You need a Force user to use it, and it can only be open with a meaningful death, a true death that has from anger and hatred. Everything that is the dark side of the Force is a special dark side Force container to open it. So what does Kylo do? As he's Rey's trading, he Force chokes Leia from across the galaxy. Yeah, so he picks her up. He's throttling her. Chewie goes crazy. Now you remember in Empire Strikes Back when Han Solo is about to be frozen in carbonite, and how does Han calm him down? Says, Chewie, you got to look after the princess. You got to look after the princess, right? So Chewie sees her being choked. He goes crazy. He's like grabbing at this impossible hands, and but she's choked to death in front of him. That kind of breaks Chewie. That's going to be important later. Fine. So so that death opens up the this Sith pyramid. Inside in there is as it opens up, dry ice, everything comes out. Inside there, Who is it? None other than Luke Skywalker, entombed, unable to move. So, okay, this is my first attempt at retconning the horrible Luke Skywalker we saw in the Last Jedi, who was not Luke Skywalker, acted like Luke Skywalker at all. So, as the holocron, as the pyramid opens up, Luke Skywalker is able to send out one single burst, one single message, a pulse of false energy, which has one message on it: find Lando. Now, the reason I'm bringing Lando in is because JJ Abrams want to bring Lando in, and it would be kind of weird to have the sequel trilogy without Lando at all. Fine. So they say he gives like a planet name. Go to Kashyyyk or wherever Lando is. Let's go to a different type of planet, right? So our heroes are mourning the death of Princess Leia, and again, her death is meaning now. Her death is poignant. Her death means something. Her death did something. And Rey, both Rey and Finn, both got this the false vision from Luke Skywalker saying, "Find Lando, go to this planet." They go to the planet. Rey, Finn, Poe, C-3PO, BB-8. No, everybody's left basically that you care about on the Falcon, and they. Was it? They get there. They're looking for Lando. Nobody's heard of Lando, but there's this area where there's this like monster that no one can go. So they go to that area, and the monster turns out to be Lando. Turns out to be he's got this he's got a standard bounty hunter mask on, and he kills anything that comes in. And he's confused. He's dazed. He doesn't know what's going on. He's lost something. He doesn't know what his name is. But he's lost something. He's lost something, and that's who he's trying to find. He keeps saying, "I lost something." So now we're going to get a bit of a info dump. Finn touches Lando, and there's a false connection between the two of them. Lando regains his memories, regains himself, and he tells him what happens. Finn turns out to be Lando's kid, which of course is what we all really want him to be. So what happened was this: Luke and Lando were ferrying. Luke, Lando, and Lando's kid were ferrying. Were on a mission. They were taking Lando's kid to the new Jedi Academy, right? And when they were ambushed by Snoke and the Emperor droid. And captured. They captured Luke and entombed the Force. That is why the Force has been essentially dormant for since the beginning of the Force Awakens. That was what the Force Awakens was about. They entombed him with this ancient Sith rite, some of the Sith method of doing it, and they took Lando's kid. And they put him into to brainwash him into to become a stormtrooper just out of spite, and left Lando with his head been shattered, and his identity torn away from him, just as an act of pure evil revenge. Okay, so right then, Kylo Ren shows up with all his Kylo Ren forces. He's also heard the Luke Skywalker false message: go to this planet, find Lando. And the first thing they do when they get there, so what's that? Our heroes make a break for it. They run for the Millennium Falcon, but as they're on the way there, it gets blown up. Which I know, gut wrenching, totally gut wrenching, but has a point, and we're gonna get to it. So our heroes are standing in the wreckage of the Millennium Falcon, or like close to it, as they're captured by just a ridiculous amount of Kylo Ren stormtroopers. Kylo Shadow lands, and the gangplank comes down, and he starts walking down it with the Emperor droid. Chewie, who's handcuffed, sees him, loses it, because his mission in life was to protect the princess. At this point, was to protect Leia, who died in his arms. He snaps his cuff and has this incredible dramatic moment, plowing through stormtroopers, ripping them apart. Lando grabs a gun, breaks out, joins him, shooting people indiscriminately, insanely violent, and until it gets to the point where where Chewie has his hands and finally plows his way through dramatically, has his hands around Ren's throat, rips his mask off, starts choking her. Kylo gets his lightsaber, boom, puts it right through Chewie. Chewie doesn't die. He keeps going. Lando's firing, but then the Emperor droid kills Lando and gives with a burst of I guess it'll be regular lightning because he's a droid, not a force user. And Kylo's force line. They killed Chewie. Okay, right now your heart should be breaking. The Emperor, the Millennium Falcon's destroyed, and Chewie's dead. Okay, but everybody just stick with me because again, I think this needs to have an air of finality to it, and which we're going to get to. Fine, so they capture our heroes, and we have another info dump. What the Emperor Droid's plan was this: he managed to collect the Emperor's life essence. You know, when he threw him down the Death Star, whatever it was, shaft, and he blew up. That white energy. That's his life essence, and they were able to over many years go around there and collect his life essence. But to keep it alive, they had to put it into a living receptacle. But his life essence is so great, it was too great for one person. So they split it into two. They put it into the first person they could find, which was Rey. And they put it into Ben Solo, Kylo Ren at the same time. So essentially, both of them are acting as Horcruxes for the Emperor, which is why they have which is why Rey anyway had this advanced force abilities. Kylo had advanced force abilities because I guess his lineage plus the Emperor's essence. They have they developed a cloning ability, and so when they captured Luke Skywalker, they sent back an Ersatz clone of him, a artificial one, which is the one that we saw on Ahch-To, and it's the one that caused under the influence of the Emperor droid is the one that caused the whole events that we saw in Last Jedi, which was the destruction of Jedi training and Jedi temple. And I think we could also say at some point Laura Dern's character was an evil replicant clone as well, because really her character, all she did was just screw up and destroy the rebellion. So the Emperor Droid's evil plan is to take he's captured Luke Skywalker, and by capturing Luke Skywalker has captured the Force. All the Force is contained within him, and the Luke Skywalker had the only way for oh no, we're not going to find this out yet. 1 second, fine. That info dump comes right at the end. So they captured Luke Skywalker and captured the Force within him. And so what they want to do is dump all the Force and all the and raise Palpatine energy into Kylo, making him into a renewed Emperor, a renewed Palpatine, which is what the Palpatine droids and Snoke's goal was right from the beginning. This takes them again, lots of Sith sacrifices, Sith lore and weird, Sith magic stuff, but it involves a sacrifice. So the sacrifice is going to be Luke Skywalker. So they get everybody up to do the thing, and they get Luke. They get the lightsaber, and they open up the containment thing enough so they can put it into him. Boom! Through Luke Skywalker's chest, killing him, seemingly. All the power goes into Kylo. He starts to transmute into the Emperor. Rey's life essence goes into Kylo. Starts to and it basically this looks like the bad guys are winning. Then out of nowhere, Luke Skywalker comes in with his lightsaber and starts to fight the newly super powerful boss Emperor Kylo Ren, but then he's joined by more people, like more people know it, by Obi-Wan Kenobi, by Liam Neeson. What was his name? I can't remember the name of this guy. But you can bring other Jedi's in, and what these are. Oh, and we're gonna, and so you have a. I was not gonna tell you what they are. Well, so you have this great Titanic battle where he gives Rey power. So Rey also joins in, and they eventually completely destroy the bad guys. And then the Jedi's one by one that help them start to fade away. He explains. So then we do a final info dump to Finn and Rey. Explains to Finn that in the moment he was captured, his only hope was that he could that he could trigger the Force to be awakened with somebody who was next to him, which was him. Which is little Finn was the last person he saw. So when the first time Finn experiences death, the Force would awaken, which would start the process for him to be released and to defeat the bad guys. He tells Rey that she should carry on with her training and develop herself into a Jedi. She says, "Well, why can't you train me?" He says, "Because I'm dead. You saw me be killed." Said, "What?" So he explains there is a realm beyond this realm. There is a existence beyond this one where the dead, where you can meet people who have passed away, and it's basically the afterlife. You talk about, there is this false realm. That's where he's going now, and the future belongs to her. The future belongs to them. Make it a good one. Yeah, basically the same speech that Christopher Lloyd gave at the end of Back to the Future 3. Okay, just as he's going, he takes his Force Ghost lightsaber, and it becomes real. He tosses it to Rey and said, "You know, you're in charge now." And he walks away through a portal into this other realm. And then the next thing you see, once again, this is total member bearers. This is total wish fulfillment. But then you see this ghostly, the spectral Luke Skywalker getting into the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon with Han, Luke, and Leia, and the frickin' Chewie and Lando, and they're all there together, which is the one thing that we all want to see. They fly off into this different world, into this afterlife, into this other realm, leaving us, leaving this galaxy for long time ago, and are far away forever. We're never going to see him again, and passing the mantle of the Jedi and the Force and the Sith over to Rey and Finn. Bye-bye, the end. And that, I think, would have been a more enjoyable movie than The Last Jedi, than The Rise of Skywalker. I think it would have been a movie that we would have cared about, that would have moved me. That's a movie that I feel that would have, like, I felt emotionally affected by the Force Awakens. I didn't blink when I watched it, because I was so into it. And I think that's why it's so crushing that that Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson they didn't drop the ball. They stabbed the ball repeatedly. So anyway, I think that would have fixed I think that would have fixed Star Wars. I think that movie would have fixed Star Wars, and you could have moved on, and the fans would have been healed. They would have had a hit movie, and I would have gone to see that 2 or 3 times. Even though, look, the cheesy afterlife, Luke, Leia, and Han and Chewie in the Millennium Falcon flying over in. I get that. I get it's cheesy. But you know what? I think we've been crapped on so much. We deserve a bit of wish fulfillment cheese. But anyway, that is what I think would have been a far better movie. Let me know what you think. I really want to know your opinion on this. My name is Philip Beck, and the Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a happy New Year. Have a great new decade. And who knows what we're going to be talking about when we hit 2030. But I hope you're still with me then. Like, share, subscribe. Have a great day. Bye.